Welcome to Conversations on the Coast, San Francisco's premier author interview program. And today we are joined by an author, the name of Jon Scieszka, and he has written several wonderful best-selling books for young readers, among them The Stinky Cheese Man.
Oh, yeah.
And The True Story of the Three Little Pigs. And you have other titles equally off the wall.
I got a mess of titles, though maybe not as off the wall as Stinky. That's probably an original.
All right. And this book that we're talking about today is one that we can say together. If I say the first part of the title, you can say the second part.
I like that.
It's called Interactive Radio Interviewing.
Wow.
The title of the book is Smash
Crash.
Okay, and it's illustrated by David Gordon, Loren Long, and the great David Shannon. The publisher, fortunate publisher, is Simon & Schuster Books for Young Readers, and they sent you all the way out here, so we better talk about this stuff.
Heck yeah.
You know, at first, I didn't get the point of Smash Crash.
Oh, were the words too long?
No, I mean, it's a rather raucous book.
Yeah.
But then two things dawned on me. One was that Smash
Crash
is part of a new series called Jon Scieszka's Trucktown.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is, in looking the book over and the press material, is that your goal here is to reach the young, especially young boy readers.
Yeah.
That's the point of this whole thing.
Yeah, and in fact, this is much different from what I've done before because my picture books really are, before this, were kind of for like the second, third, up through eighth grade level, high school kids even. They're kind of more sophisticated plays on, say, like parody, messing up fairy tales. But this really has the preschool set in mind through kindergarten, like really that 4 through 6 year old little crazy kid in the classroom.
Yeah, and the real tip off here is that what happens in the book is that lots of trucks do what boys usually do with trucks,
which is smash and crash. Exactly. Well, and that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to write something that was so inspirational to those youngest kids that as soon as they got into a classroom, they would see something that was for them. And this is it. There's like 14 different trucks, mostly based on characters who I met in a preschool I worked with.
Ah, that's an interesting point. This book is, in a sense, based on rather serious and extensive research.
Yeah, it's absolutely comes right out of the classroom. I mean, these are kids you'll meet in a 4-year-old classroom. So there's Garbage Truck Gabriella, who's just that girl who runs everything, knows everybody, and won't stop talking about it.
And then there's a dump truck Dan.
Dump Truck Dan, very loyal, dependable friend. Maybe not the brightest truck in all of Trucktown, but a good guy to know.
There's another truck in the first story, at least, who's kind of annoying. That's the ice cream truck.
Izzy Ice Cream Truck, absolutely. And that's more based on every ice cream truck I ever knew.
What do you mean?
Who would just keep playing that same song over and over and over and over and over and over. So Izzy only has one line for all 52 books in the first 3 years. And he just says, do you want an ice cream? Do you want an ice cream? Do you want an ice cream?
It's like the kid in the class you'd like to kill.
Exactly. So Izzy interrupts every book. So Smash Crash, he just comes driving in just to interrupt the entire story.
Do you want an ice cream?
Yep.
Do you want an ice cream? Yep. That's kind of nice.
Any book that there ever is, Izzy will just come in and interrupt it.
Now, I don't know whether I should even ask this question. Among these trucks, do you have a favorite?
Well, probably the most handsome and smartest and lovable truck.
Yes.
That would be me. No, actually, Jack Truck is probably my favorite. He's kind of the main character truck. And he's just that little kid who's so full of energy. And he's kind of the prankster and the fastest truck, too.
I want to get back to the, if you will, pedagogical point of this book and
Yeah.
books that will be forthcoming. And that is, does Crash Smash work? Does it help preschool boys learn to read?
Absolutely. Because I think it's that same book like I found when I was learning to read. Because when I was growing up, we were reading Dick and Jane in school.
Uh-huh.
And that just did nothing for me. I mean, if I had thought that was reading, I don't think I'd be a reader. But my mom read Dr. Seuss to me and P.D. Eastman's Go Dog Go. And when I read those books, I thought, oh, now this is something I want to look into.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm hoping Trucktown will be that same thing.
To help other kids, particularly boys.
Yep, they develop slower than girls. I mean, that's just biological truth.
Mm-hmm. So, at any rate, you do, when you go out and present this book, you do get a chance to say, smash.
Crash.
And the kids yell back.
Well, that's the best thing. I mean, that is the proof in the pudding there. It's just like they are participants and they're part of reading.
Okay. Well, there's much more to this story because there are 51 more books to this story. And there are 3 very successful illustrators working as a team.
Yeah.
It's a complex thing, so stay tuned and we'll share it all with you next.
Oh, yeah.
You're listening to Conversations on the Coast with Jim Foster. Follow us on Twitter at Jim Foster COC or send an email to jimfostercoc@gmail.com.
Jon Scieszka is the guest. The title of his book is Smash
Crash.
It's illustrated by David Gordon, Loren Long, and David Shannon, published by Simon & Schuster Books for Young Readers. And as we said, Smash
Crash
does not stand alone.
No.
Oh, it is part of something much bigger. It's part, first of all, of a collaboration between Jon Scieszka and 3 great illustrators. Now, how did you put this together?
It may be even too big to describe on radio. I don't know if radio can contain it. But it came out of my experience adapting a lot of my books to television and toys and online. And I just saw all these missed opportunities. So I thought, why not design something from the beginning that could live all these places?
And when you gathered all of these cats together,
Yeah.
and it was like putting wild cats in a burlap bag, I think.
I thought you were saying like cool cats, like a jazz session.
No.
Oh, yeah.
You then created something you call a design garage.
Yeah.
And there are some technical aspects of that I think are important to share.
Well, it was interesting because we wanted to create all of this property to look spectacular across all the books, whether it's picture books, easy readers, novelty books, or online. So we used the model that they use for animated movies, where I wrote the series Bible. These guys got together and created all the characters and made a design Bible. So it's like what says what all the characters look like. And then we got together in New York for that week and actually worked together, dressed up like we were in a garage. And they turned the Simon & Schuster conference room into a garage. A theater set designer just trashed the conference room and brought in metal paneling, old trucks, old parts.
It sounds to me like the Simon & Schuster Children's Publishing Division is as crazy as you guys are.
Well, we got them that way.
Now, the purpose of all this, as we said before, is to turn little trucks into good readers.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the heart of it. I mean, there's so much stuff is going on for kids now where their attention is being drawn to television, online, toys. Like I wanted to make a world where they could do all of those things, and all of it leads back to the stories. So it's all about reading about those trucks.
So you got crazy, loud, funny, thoughtful, exciting things going on.
Yeah.
All in the persona of various trucks.
Yep. And if trucks acting like 4-year-olds, which is even better, because my audience then sees themselves. They recognize that truck and they go, hey, I'm like that. I may just not weigh 40 tons.
Now, beyond are there going to be 52 books?
Yeah. Yep.
And there's another one coming at us right away.
Yeah, 52 books in the next 3 years. And after that, it's like working on the website, working on the toys, working on the TV right now.
It's an amazing project.
Yeah, it's been and crazy fun to work with these guys. I mean, some of my all-time favorites, these guys as illustrators. So it's been cool to see the thing come together.
Well, that's the story. 3 great illustrators, 1 great author, a 52-book series, plus toys and more. You know, it's a pretty big story, but that's not the end of it. We are sitting here today with an ambassador. What that's all about when we return.
You're listening to Conversations on the Coast with Jim Foster. Follow us on Twitter at Jim Foster COC or send an email to jimfostercoc@gmail.com.
This is Jim Foster. It is Conversations on the Coast. The title of the book is Smash
Crash.
The author, who says crash so nicely, is Jon Scieszka. The book is illustrated by David Gordon, Loren Long, and David Shannon in what I'm feeling is an impossible partnership. all held together by some weird and wonderful people at Simon & Schuster Books for Young Readers.
And matching overalls.
We've been having an interesting chat here, but what I want to do now is for you to share one of the episodes, I guess we can call it, in the book. So we give people a flavor and the sense of fun that
I'd
happens
love to.
here. Something about Max, somebody named Max.
Yeah, so here's Jack and Dan driving up, meeting their friends, Monster Truck Max. Jack and Dan roll up to Monster Truck Max. "Hey, Max," says Jack, "help us smashing." "Yeah, Max," says Dan, "help us crashing." But Max is awfully busy. "Sorry, guys, no can do. Got to stack these barrels by 2. "Aw, don't be such a 4-wheeler dud," says Jack. "Come on and smash, crash, smash,
Crash!
Nicely done.
Thank you.
And they smash and crash all the barrels and stack them into a perfect Eiffel Tower. "Wow," says Max. "Smacked, whacked, and stacked to the max." Suddenly, there's a weird voice calling. "Oh no," says Jack. "It's... Do you want an ice cream? Do you want an ice cream? Do you want an ice cream? It's Izzy Ice Cream Truck. Get out of here, Izzy." And Jack and Dan speed away. Wow, that was an action-packed excerpt.
That certainly was, actually. And the stack that they made looked like something, didn't
Just
it?
like the Eiffel Tower.
Just
Once
like the
they
Eiffel.
cracked all those barrels into shape.
Imagine what you can do when you smash and crash. You can make the Eiffel Tower. When was this book published? What is it, in January this month? sometime?
January, yep.
Do you remember the exact date?
January 8th.
January 8th.
2008.
And on January the 3rd, it says here, the Librarian of Congress appoints author Jon Scieszka inaugural National Ambassador for Young People's Literature. The position was created to raise national awareness of the importance of young people's literature as it relates to lifelong literacy, education, and the development and betterment of the lives of young people.
That's
we all
me.
thought you were just fooling around.
No, I apparently was just making stinky and smash crash, but I'm actually helping young people. And now I've got a sash to prove it.
And what do you see as the connection of between that mission and your being named the ambassador for young people's literature in America?
Well, it turns out, I mean, it's the same thing I've always tried to do, which is to try to engage kids in reading just by giving them reading they'll want to do. Because I was an elementary school teacher for 10 years, and I found out it's much easier to motivate kids by inspiring them rather than lecturing them.
Mm-hmm. Getting them to read things or to do things that they really wanted to do.
Exactly.
Which is a much better learning platform.
Yeah, and I think that's what's going on with kids today. They're getting tested so much, they just think reading is a school chore. They don't get a chance to read what they really enjoy, which is the whole range of stuff, which might be nonfiction, it's humor, it's graphic novels, audiobooks, online. There's a ton of stuff out there.
Now, as the ambassador, you're going to be working with the Center for the Book in the Library of Congress and
Yep.
the Children's Book Council.
Yeah.
What's the Children's Book Council?
That's kind of a group of publishers. It's been around forever, like 40 years, but it's to really connect what they do with kids. And I've worked with so many publishers. I know every one of them has some great books.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of my mission to find those good books and connect them with the kids who are looking for them.
Somebody else is involved in this, as it must be. Cheerios.
Oh, yeah. Well, thank God for Cheerios that they actually came up with some money. They're supplying like $25,000 a year as a stipend. Because otherwise, no one else seems to care that much. I mean, everyone says, "Oh, kids aren't reading."
What a great cause! But
yeah.
Don't ask me for money.
Don't ask me for $1, for heaven's sake. So, bravo, Cheerios.
Well,
and I hope
good.
they put my mug on the box.
Oh,
Wouldn't that be scary?
as
or
an
good, I mean.
Well, as an ambassador, you of course can demand these things.
I like that. Maybe if I come with Air Force One, they'll be impressed.
You've been on the road, and you've been south of here in a place called Los Angeles
Yes.
and
I've
San
heard of that.
Diego, and something happened down there musically to you that was very important.
I don't like to talk about it, but since you asked, I will. Well, they gave me a sash and they created a fanfare for the ambassador. So now I kind of like that wherever I go. A little introduction.
Sorry, no music here on this program.
Oh, what a tease.
The title is Smash Crash. The author, Jon Scieszka, has been talking to us. There goes the fanfare. The publisher is Simon & Schuster, Books for Young Readers. This has been Conversations on the Coast, and I'm Jim Foster.
Follow us on Twitter at Jim Foster COC or send an email to jimfostercoc@gmail.com.